Hello, brothers and sisters. It's Tommy Z. Welcome to Anthem. Today, we're going to talk about the music career path that nobody is really talking about. And this is why I am talking about it, because nobody else is talking about it. And this music career path is what allowed me to make a full-time living from music for 15 years now. And I still continue to do it. Except now, I spend half my time walking this music career path that I'm going to talk about, and half my time teaching my life's work to other musicians who can actually open their eyes to new possibilities of making a living with music at a time when it's difficult to do so. People are streaming their music for free, streaming royalties pay less than pennies, tours are being canceled. So the best thing you can do as a musician is learn how to make a living right from your home studio and stop selling your music to people who are getting it for free. Start using your musical skill as a service that you can pitch to places that need original music and that are willing and able to pay for this. And this is exactly what we're going to talk about. Now, what are those places? These places are brands. So much work is being done. Every single day, right now as we speak, there are probably shoots going on all around the world for some kind of a commercial, for some kind of a campaign. Brands are spending billions, folks. Brands are spending billions on marketing, on advertising, and much of this content needs original music, something that will fit the campaign like a glove. The thing is, I know a lot of you have no idea about this business. The reason why I know this is because I was exactly in the same boat, okay? Just to give you a quick story about how I discovered this world. So you know, I was a DJ. I was working my corporate career. And in the DJ circle, I had a friend, DJ Storm, shout out to Chris Taylor. And he said to me, hey, he was working actually at an ad agency by day. And he said to me, I'm working on a Pontiac Aztek commercial. Is this something you might be interested in creating music for? Because I know you're not just DJing, but you're getting into music production. And I said, yeah, I was very intrigued. I'm like, I'm not even sure I would know what to do. He's like, well, just create a song, you know, like, here's what we need. Here's the song we need. Just create one. We'll let you know what we think. Maybe do some revisions. And so I went into the studio. It took me probably one evening to come up with a demo. I sent the music forward to my friend, and they had a few comments. So I went after work into my studio for another evening. I did the revisions, and they said, yeah, this is fine. Please send me an invoice. And then when I found out like how much they want me to invoice them for, I nearly fell out of my cubicle chair at my day job, okay? I just had no idea. And you know, it's like you start thinking to yourself, how come I never thought about this, you know? How come like it never occurred to me that there's all this advertising going on, that brands are doing all this cool content out there, and it all of it has music, but like, how come I never connected it to my own activity as a music creator? And so it was that day when I realized like how much brands are actually paying creators for this kind of content, that I decided, hey, this could be a possible career path for me. I never imagined myself as a musician on stage, as a star on stage. I never imagined myself continuing to try to get these licenses and these remixes. It was also sporadic and unpredictable. But here, I realized there's so much content production going on from brands. And back then, I think there was much less content production going on 15 years ago. Today, there's much more. But I thought this is just way more consistent. And so I wanted to right away make this my full-time job. And in all of my excitement and enthusiasm, I started reaching out to other ad agencies and saying, hey, I'm a music composer. I can make you music. Look, I did this Pontiac Aztek thing. And for some reason, nobody was getting back to me. I literally quit my job in order to pursue this. And I started reaching out to all these agencies, but none of them were getting back to me. And this was the first mistake that I made. And this is a mistake that many musicians make simply because they have no idea about this business. And one word advice that Uncle Z is going to give you right now as a mentor is do not launch yourself at something. I know you're excited. I know you might be listening to this, for instance, and seeing the possibility and going, hey, why didn't I think of this? This could be something for me for sure. Do not launch yourself at the industry before you understand how it works. This is very important, and we're going to cover that in a separate video, maybe here or maybe here. So I want you to check that out. I want you to understand how the business works before you start approaching the people in our industry, because this was my mistake. The mistake that I made was that I started knocking on the doors of the ad agencies and nobody was getting back to me. I almost had to go back to my regular day job because I spent all this money building a website, renting a studio, printing fancy business cards, and wondering why nobody's getting back to me. And then someone took pity on me and said, hey, I know somebody inside of the ad industry. They're gonna sit down with you for a coffee and maybe they can see what you're doing wrong. And so I did sit down with Johnny. Johnny said to me, hey, you're doing everything wrong, brother, because ad agencies don't actually deal with individual composers. So that's why nobody's getting back to you. I'm like, well, then who do they deal with? How do they get the music for the campaigns? Ad agencies will actually commission music production companies that specialize in making music for brands. And I said, wow, okay, so those kind of companies exist solely dedicated to creating music for brands? And he said, yes, they do. And here's the list, and I was in Toronto at the time. And I realized suddenly this whole hidden world started opening up for me that I never knew about. There were all these music production companies with really, really fancy studios that existed that I never knew about. And suddenly I started emailing them, showing them my reel, showing them the Pontiac thing that I did. And I started getting my emails, my calls answered. They asked me to come in. We had a chat, and even walking into these studios, I mean, it's incredible, hardwood floors, high ceilings, sushi lunches being catered. I see like all these people from ad agencies and from brands walking around, it's like all this activity going on that was totally hidden from plain sight for me. And then just seeing the fancy furniture and the incredible gear, Neve consoles, SSL consoles, and you're like, wow, these places, this is how they're making their money. Like basically serving up original songs or scores or sounds for all this brand content. So I was just blown away basically. And so I realized this is a world I want to be a part of. So then, it took a few more months for me to actually break into this world. I ended up being a music producer at a music production company in Toronto called Tattoo. Shortly afterwards, I became a partner, and that's how my adventure in this music business began, okay? In this very specific niche called making music for brands. Now, nobody is talking about this business, like I mentioned. I'm not sure why that is. Maybe it's because this is a very consuming business. The deadlines are deadly. It's always quite an intense pace in our business. And so maybe, folks just don't have the time. They're doing what they do. But, for me, after doing this for 15 years, and I've done it on 3 different continents now, it's really not doing another Nike commercial that motivates me. We still do this and we still have fun doing it, but I'm having a lot of fun actually passing on my life's work, the knowledge about my life's work to other musicians. The reason is because I'm always looking for unique musicians, for somebody who has a certain superpower, who is really great at creating music that is distinct, that moves other humans. And this helps me as a music producer in order to satisfy the needs of my clients. So I'm always on the lookout for great musicians, and nothing satisfies me more than to see a musician who yesterday had no idea about our business, and today they're writing an original song for Audi. And the next day, their song gets accepted, and suddenly thousands, if not millions of people are seeing this song on a major campaign, and the artist not only gets paid, but perhaps gets some really, really major exposure to their music. So I think this is important, and I love talking about it. And this is why we have an entire academy devoted to training musicians how to turn from amateurs into professional craftspeople who are able to craft remarkable songs, scores, or sounds on a commission from music production companies, and to derive some income without necessarily having to leave your studio, which I think is a beautiful thing. Okay, guys? So my life has changed because of this path. No doubt about it. It is this path that nobody talks about, that allowed me to become a full-time musician and allows me to feed my family even today. And so I think this is definitely worth considering for some of you guys. If you enjoy this information, if this has opened your eyes to new possibilities, please stay tuned to this channel, hit like, hit subscribe. If you want to know more, please put your questions in the comments. I'm happy to answer them. But rest assured that in other videos on this channel, we're going to cover every aspect of this business. Also, if you're interested, you can check out our free training, which is a 1-hour comprehensive introduction to our world. If you're ready to dive in, click the link below. Or if you'd like, you can check out the next video, which will go into more detail about how big brands get their music. My name is Tommy Z. This is Anthem. I hope this has been inspiring and informative for you. I am giving you a big virtual hug. I'll see you in the next video.